Good evening. This is the Athens City Shade Tree Commission meeting for June 11th, 2015. I'll deal with some right-of-way tree issues when we get the report from Ron Lucas later on the agenda. I don't have any landscape ordinance issues, so Ron's report is next.
Take minutes.
I can do the minutes.
Okay, so my apologies for not making last meeting, but we never got a chance, or I never got a chance to talk about the Tree City USA Awards program. I don't know how much, I didn't watch the Tree Commission, how much you guys discussed it, or if there was anything
Thank you for your organization.
Well, it was everybody that was involved, so, you know, Tree Commissioner Jennifer, you know, it was a team effort for sure, so thought it went off pretty much without a hitch. So.
Were you happy with it? We all.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, our biggest problem was coffee pots blowing fuses at the ridges. That's not a bad problem to have, you know. So, I thought it went pretty well. So, there are still 2 flowers left. Tree City USA Passion Works flowers. If anybody is interested, or knows anybody that's interested in purchasing those. And the big one, of course, will be put up at the community center with our 25th year award and a plaque that will highlight all the people that purchased the flowers that went to the planting of the tree, all in one spot at the community. That's kind of what I'm envisioning. Ed Newman approached me, and he has the plaque for Greg Broadhurst's memorial tree. The city needs to put a concrete pad in order to mount that placard at West 8th Street Park. So the goal is to have that done by the end of the summer. It shouldn't take too long. We just need to pour some concrete and bolt it in, and his plaque will be there. There's a number of dates coming up that I wanted to get into your minds. First one, David, I think you just saw it today. Lorraine McCosker's putting together a College Green tree tour on June 19th. Mm-hmm. It's a small one. It's a 12-to-1. So I don't know how much we'll cover, if there's a lot of conversation.
I think this is the outer ring. Did you get that feeling? Jean Andrews did her top 10 trees last Friday, and both Nancy and I went on that. Okay. And they announced that there would be another one. I got the feeling it was going to be on the outer part of campus, but
they had it mapped. Mm-hmm. The inner one and then the outer one.
Okay. Well, the meeting location is at Cutler Hall.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, and I forwarded her email to all of you. I think Ron should be getting it as well about half an hour ago. Okay. She asked me to forward it on. Mm-hmm. And if there are people in the community that want to go, because it's open to faculty, staff, students, community members, they should send Lorraine an email at mccosker@ohio.edu if they're going to attend, so she can get some idea of how many people are going to be going.
Right.
There were about 20 people, 25 people at the last one.
Another big one that's coming up is on June 23rd and 24th. Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Forestry is coming into town, and they're going to do a couple of things, actually 3. They're going to do a tour of the College Greens of Ohio University in the morning on the 23rd, and a tour of the Nelsonville Square in the afternoon, 23rd. And then on the 24th, a trip to the wilds. If anybody's interested to attend that, it'd be $30. But the big thing here is it's an opportunity to network with the folks from the Division of Forestry and discuss different things like grant opportunities and other tree-related things that anybody might have, any ideas that anybody might have, will have their ear, so to speak, for 2 days, pretty much. So those are the dates, the 23rd and 24th. I'm not sure where they're meeting on the 23rd. I think that the meeting starts at Ann's office, Ann Bonner's office at ODNR on East State Street. The next thing is on June 30th, Ann Bonner, and Jackie Klepfer, and myself are going to meet on the Near East Side, and we're going to review the tree inventory and assessment work that she did for her master's presentation. There's some discrepancies in the data, and I think we need to take a look at it so that we can get it cleaned up. So that's going to be the goal, at least to get an idea on that particular section. She did 3 parts of the city. She did the Near East, the Far East, and the West Side, to just get a feel for what trees that were identified to be right-of-way trees and what trees were not identified as right-of-way trees. So it's just kind of a quality control type of thing that we want to do before she publishes.
What day is that?
She passed, by the way.
Are we asked to come to that, or?
No, it's more of an FYI, but you're more than welcome to if you want to
I'd
get an
like to
understanding
see
of
it.
how
It
we
would
do
be
our
interesting to see.
right-of-way measurements and things like
I
that.
talked to her about it on the tour the other day,
Okay.
and she emailed me back whether my tree was a city tree or not.
Okay. Yeah, you're more than welcome to attend. We'll probably meet again at Ann's office and then go to where we need to go. Probably walk to the different areas that we're going to look at.
And could you say again the time and date?
It's June 30th, and I
30th.
believe we're going to meet at 10 and go until about 2 to 2:30.
Okay.
And that's just going to be the first time. There'll be a number of opportunities that we'll do this, hopefully, because Jackie's here all summer. The biggest thing that we noticed, or at least I noticed, is that trees in the tree lawn, the area between the sidewalk and the curb, were definitely included in the inventory. Trees that were not in the tree lawn were not always, and that causes some concern to me because I know there are a lot of trees in the right of way that aren't in the tree lawn because they're simply not a tree lawn.
Oh.
And one that I just had removed on Windsor this week was 20 feet off of the road, but it's in the city right away.
Yeah.
It's different everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you really need to do measurements, and that not all the places were measured. So, final thing that I had is I just kind of mentioned it. We're underway with some tree removals and prunings. It's on a tour I had with Dale Richmond from D&J Tree Care 2 weeks ago. Most of the trees we're aware of that are dead. But there are a couple that we're going to do some pruning on to hopefully save, including Mr. Powell's trees at 141 Morris. 2 maples.
Oh,
One's-
those, yes. Yeah, I know.
One's not doing so great. One is probably can be saved.
Yeah. You and I exchanged emails about the small tree at 66 Morris. Are you planning to remove that one, or should we just give the owner permission to remove it? Because it's small enough that he could do it. It's
We'll probably do it.
okay.
I just
You
need
know
to
when
schedule
that-
it with. I need to schedule it with our crew.
Okay, yeah. So that was, I believe that was 66 Morris. And then I noticed there's again a small dead tree, 92 North Congress. It's one where we should try and replace it. There's a lot of space there in the tree lawn, but there's a high voltage cable above, so we're going to have to put a small tree there.
Okay. There are a number. There's an interesting trend happening that I'm kind of happy with. The people that I've talked to regarding removals so far this year have been very interested in having replacement.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Bob Stewart at 66 Morris wants a replacement. He wasn't too picky. He just, I listed a few of the ones we often planned, and he said any of those would do fine. He doesn't have anything special in mind.
I'm probably going to ask for guidance with a problem that we have at West State Street Park. There are a number of. Are you familiar with Dalton Field?
Nope.
It's the first ball field on the right when you're entering West State Street Park. The big
So the one with
lights.
the pines, the row of pines.
Yeah. The row of
That
pines.
people park on their routes.
The row of pines is a concern. There's high voltage cables that run through the tops of them. AEP has not committed to, but is interested in moving that line, which would solve all of our problems. However, they have not moved it yet, and I don't know when they're going to. Sometimes these trees catch on fire or shut the power off to the water treatment plant, which is not a good thing. I'm getting pressure to remove the trees, and I'm pressuring back now. So I might need maybe a statement, tree commission based on a review of the trees or something of that nature that would maybe assist my stance, because I don't think that we should remove those trees right now. They're healthy. They're nice. I don't want to just cut the tops out of them. But yeah.
What did you say about the catch fire?
They're
Well,
touching power lines.
Oh, they're touching.
They're close enough to high voltage lines that,
okay.
and because they are pines, they have oils in that may catch fire easily. That's all.
Yeah, they spark, and they'll often shut power down to the water treatment plant, which is something
What,
that we do not want.
what about a safety concern that if it's raining and a tree is wet and it's touching the power line, is that electricity, does the tree conduct that electricity? Or
Yeah,
is
but it
that,
would shut the power down if it did.
Yeah.
pardon?
It would shut it down if it. I suspect these events probably happen during storms. Or
Yeah,
when it's raining.
you'd hear a pop, and then the power would be off.
Yeah.
And then, we'd have to go through all of our procedures. Power's down at the water treatment plant. They build in some redundancy after the derecho, but it's not enough at this point. If they move the lines, it'll solve the problem. But I was thinking that if we would need to remove those trees based on a pruning that would put them down 10 feet, I wouldn't want to do it until we had a second row of trees established. Because the buffer there is really nice between the road and the park. And it's a nice set of spruce trees that we don't have a lot of.
Any way of encouraging the power company to move the line sooner?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. It helps to have those lines moved, but somebody has to pay for it, and it's the customer. So it's one of those things that
Well, what's it going
we
to
wanna
cost
have-
us to replant
yeah.
all those trees?
Exactly. So it would probably be the city that would be.
And what is
We
it-
wouldn't pay directly because we allow them to utilize the right of way. The cost will be passed on somehow.
But what is it costing when the power is turned off at the water facility there? And
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how much that would cost. I could probably find out what a minute per power outage at the water treatment plant costs. I don't know that off the top of my head.
And do you know where the lines would be moved so that if you were to plant new trees, we wouldn't be interfering with?
I've seen a plan. They'd still be overhead lines, but they'd basically move the pole that is nearest, that's right in the trees. They'd move it back behind the trees so the line would come in at an angle and it would miss those trees completely. So it would solve our problem.
Is it only moving one pole we're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's maybe two poles. They're interested in realigning some of their power down through there, but it's not a high priority.
But my understanding is this isn't simply a tree issue. I believe that I've heard Andy Stone talk about this moving of the lines in conjunction with something else. So it's not, the trees aren't the only concern.
Yeah, there's
This line, is that right?
The big picture is utilizing the Clark Street station as a hub for the entire city. The central hub for electricity, and the way the power comes out of that station. There's a plan for it. And I don't have it with me. But yeah, there is a big picture with all this, going all the way through the ridges and everything. That being the main feeder for electricity in the city. So just a concern that I have.
I'm quite willing to sign a letter saying we want to keep the trees.
Move the line, keep the trees.
That's the win-win for me.
Yeah.
Move the line. Trees.
Did you say they're pine trees?
There
Yes,
are
did you say
White pines.
there's one spruce and I think there's 5 white pines.
Okay, all right.
I think the makeup of those.
I thought there were more trees than that.
There may be. I mean, there's trees all through there, but
Yeah.
the ones that are abutting the line.
Oh, okay, the
There's the
ones
one,
in,
yeah.
in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll try and remember to go down and have a look.
Yeah,
See.
you can get some eyes on them. I mean, the trees are in good shape. They're
Yes, yeah.
healthy
They were
trees.
last
They
time I
create a
looked.
great buffer between the field and the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
Great
And there's that other field where it's a great example of how you can get lovely shade out of white pines if you branch them up to a reasonable height, where they go around in that circle
Yeah.
at one point.
Another thing that I'd like to mention is the city is taking over West Union Street Cemetery
Mm-hmm.
and all the trees that come. So I'll be doing a pretty big assessment of those trees. I know there's some problem trees on that property. Most of it will be pruning.
Does this mean we get to plant some trees?
Could. It could.
And there's
And a good, that bank is prime street.
there's a beautiful sourwood there that's gorgeous in the fall that needs to be treasured.
That'd be good to know. Like any trees in there that have a lot of history to them. I mean, I'm sure we can look at them at sight and say, wow, that tree's been around. But, any particular types that be worthwhile to try to keep, for a long time if there's nothing wrong with them.
It would be good to plant some more sourwoods if it's a good site for sourwoods.
I
They've
do
been
have
pretty
one more.
slow.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're slow, but
I do have one more. We're going to start our official ash tree removals. North Lancaster Street. Those trees are showing the signs of death.
Jeff's not here tonight, but he volunteered to provide a map
Okay.
of the risk. So if you can feed information to him
Okay.
about where we've got confirmed incidents of emerald ash borer, then people can get an idea of how quickly it's moving through the city.
This is a real concern for me in terms of North Lancaster Street. When these ash trees come down, when you get past Columbus Road, those trees in the median are doing great. They're all alive and they're all pretty vibrant, but they're going to take a while to give us our canopy. But when we remove those ash trees on North Lancaster, it's going to be fairly barren, clear down through there. So I would like to put some type of strategy together in terms of replanting North Lancaster Street. 'Cause to me, it's one of our, it's an entry. North Lancaster Street's an entryway into the city. And when you come through from Columbus Road and you go through the intersection of 2nd Street and North Lancaster, you'll get the good feel of trees through the wooded area on Columbus Road and then the median strip, kind of saying this is Athens, but then you get into this stretch where it's pretty any town USA, in my opinion, once we remove those ash trees. So I'd like to get a planting plan together for that street.
Could we?
The Freeman maples that we have used have been gorgeous in the fall. They have been relatively fast growing,
Okay.
and they are a good tree all around.
And there's an oak that we planted down on Morris that's done very well, and I'm not sure which one it is. It isn't the pin oak. I wonder if it's an English oak.
I don't remember planting an English oak.
Okay. It's down by the Hughes funeral home.
Yeah,
Is it
that
a
Freeman
sapling
maple's doing
oak?
well down there too.
Yeah, there's 3 Freeman maples down there doing very well, and then there's this one oak that we planted at
I
some
think
point.
it's a pin.
Oh,
think it's
okay.
pin oak.
Yeah.
I'll have to check my records.
The other one that we've had very good success with is the little leaf linden as well. As a
The
street
ones out
tree.
front are doing really well. I actually had to lift them up a little bit because we weren't able to sit on the benches anymore.
And the silver linden is supposed to be a little tougher and better for urban conditions than the little leaf.
Oh, okay.
And it's an interesting tree where you see the silver backs of the leaves.
Oh, that would be pretty.
Yeah,
When the wind.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that might be a good mix with the with that maple, the Freeman.
Kentucky
Yeah.
coffee trees seem to be doing well.
Yeah, the ones, I think we lost one at the Mason Lodge.
We lost
Carpenter.
one on my street.
Did we?
And
across
the other
the
one, the other oak that does well is a sawtooth. Is that one?
Sawtooth oak?
Sawtooth oak.
Did
Yeah.
you notice
That I've noticed has done very well in some
Okay,
places.
Good.
So I think
So we
we've
got
come
a,
up
we
with
can, we
with
can plant a
mix.
pretty good variety.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make that a focus for the fall planting. I think particularly with the idea that that's going to be an area with need, and it's one of the entrances to the city.
I think that that is an option. I also think maybe identifying it as a standalone project
That would be good.
where
Yeah.
we can get more bang for our buck
Mhm.
and also do some more with,
Do you-
because if I take that 10 grand, which is typically what we do, and just focus on North Lancaster, there's a lot of requests for trees.
Yeah, right.
So if we can make that a standalone project and say that's a $5,000 planting effort on North Lancaster, we have another 10, so 15 grand to spend on
Good.
trees.
Good idea. What we were talking about outside this meeting was to come up with a sort of a long-range plan for how to plant trees and goals and things like that. It's great that we are trying to replace the trees that are there, but to try to ramp up the numbers, and particularly with the ash trees coming down, it was something to.
I had gone to another 2 days of Tree Academy last couple weeks ago, and she has some devices, kind of ways of measuring and sorting through what makes for a good site and what are some ways to define priorities and things like that. So that might be helpful. I thought that was I thought that was really good. I mean, they seem to be sensible and easy to follow, and so that might be something we could look at.
Yes, I think it's a good idea.
The ash tree removal, is that going to, or are you going to be able to, or will you have to remove the root to be able to replant there, or is there space to plant between trees?
That's a good question. The geography of North Lancaster is such that some of these trees are on a hill and then there's a house. So in order to get the planting site, we almost need to grind the stump, plant pretty close to where
Yeah.
it already is.
So it's a case of remove the tree and then plant, rather than trying to progressively plant and remove.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we could take a look at that if we
Mm-hmm.
identify it as a project.
Because it'd be nice if you could get the money together to plant trees, plant all of them, and then progressively remove them.
I don't believe there's a tree lawn North Lancaster. The sidewalk goes right to the curb. So most of the trees that we would do removals on are in somebody's yard. Most of them are rentals. So it's just to let the property owners know that, hey, we're going to replace the tree. Fine. Especially if they don't have to maintain it.
Yeah, this is another example of where the right-of-way extends on the far side of the
Exactly.
of the sidewalk.
It's a tree on South Court Street by Witts that's could be causing some sidewalk upheaval. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the sidewalk, put a root expansion fabric down, and then re-pour the sidewalk and see if that gives us, this solves that problem. Right now it's a trip hazard, so we have to do something about it. Watched quite a few people trip, and I don't know if it's the vault sinking or if it's the tree roots causing the problem. So,
Well, as we learned at a tree care conference, it's usually a failure of the sidewalk that then leads to the heaving.
that's what we're thinking. We're thinking that there were a number of vaults underneath the businesses on Court Street that were used for different things, typically coal, and they just were there. So when we did the Court Street rehabilitation project back in the early 2000s, we discovered all these vaults. Most of them we filled with concrete and moved on. But that concrete could have settled, or maybe we missed one. You know, there's just some things that might have happened. Yeah. So that could be very well that the sidewalk failed and the tree's just fine and dandy.
I'm making a collection of heaved sidewalks in areas where there are no trees and have never been trees to show people when they say, "Oh, I'm sure it's the tree."
We've been fairly proactive lately with solving or protecting trees inside with sidewalks, not using that as an excuse to remove a tree. Because I agree that, you know, we can protect these trees, don't have to remove them, and still have a sidewalk that's accessible and useful.
Yeah, it takes a long time to replace a tree of that size.
So, you finished?
It's like, are you done yet? Yeah, I think I'm done.
Good. Have we got any more questions for Ron?
I have a comment on the issue of the right-of-way and the tree lawns, because I live in a neighborhood where there is no tree lawn, and so many people probably don't think about the right-of-way and what's a city tree versus what's a privately owned tree. So I think it would be worthwhile if we could do some kind of outreach to the neighborhood associations to help provide a little more information about that. You know, sometimes Paula will go out and attend neighborhood association meetings to talk about safety issues, so maybe you could get on the agenda to speak.
I love to
About
talk about
trees.
trees and right away, so anytime.
But that's a good point, because I'd ask Jackie when we met at this tree tour whether she knew about the street I live on, whether my tree was a city tree or a lawn tree. She said my tree is my tree, but the house across the street, which has got a tree sort of in the same spot, is the city tree. So it must be a matter of inches or something, I don't know. So it really is confusing.
You might get a right-of-way that is, typically the right-of-way is a measurement from the center of the road, equidistance from
Right,
each
right.
center lane of the road.
But it's different in each.
It's not always that way. Sometimes it might be 20 feet from the center of the road on one side and 21 feet on the other.
Right.
And
That's the
there are
difference.
some
You don't
with even
know.
bigger dog legs than that.
Yeah, you could very
distance
well
is
get
what you
a
don't
30
know.
foot on one
Yeah.
side and 15 on the other.
But the one thing that used to help, and it seems to have gone away, at least I can't find it, I thought within our GIS mapping, we actually had a way for people to see what the right-of-way was on the map itself online, and I don't seem to be able to do that anymore.
You can do that, but I wouldn't trust it 100%, especially on some of the smaller streets.
No, all it was a measurement. It wasn't showing the right-of-way. It just stated that it was, Mill Street, it was 75 feet.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's what she did. She went back to her office and looked it up on
Yeah.
the computer. So there is a way
Yes,
that she's
yeah.
using anyway.
Yeah, and the only other way that I know of is you can go down to the code office, and they've got paper maps.
Yeah, and that's the most,
Yeah.
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. But even there, occasionally, all they can do is they judge it from the centre of the road, and if you really want to do it accurately, it's got to be surveyed, because you have to find the surveyor's
Exactly.
pin somewhere.
You have to find the pin.
And what if a tree is planted outside of the right-of-way, but it grows into the right-of-way?
Well,
Whether it's 1 inch or a
It's a
foot,
city tree.
if it's touching the right-of-way line, it's a city tree. Just because I don't like to have that argument.
Sure.
So,
My tree could use some help.
Some city help.
Some city help.
But this is a constant problem in this city. So yes, if there is a neighbourhood association meeting, then Jennifer's suggestion is a good one to
Yeah.
go out there and encourage people. Because it's another way for us to find out if people want trees
That's true.
in specific locations as well.
Somebody was there.
yeah, like if you look at Sunnyside, for example, they will fight tooth and nail not to have trees.
Some of them will, because we have planted some trees.
Yeah,
on
but
Sunnyside.
the concern, especially in the tree lawn, is the water line, and they don't want to deal with that, so they will fight it.
Yeah.
I've had that battle and lost.
But that's one of those streets where the
Ring
right of way
Street.
goes a long way beyond the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah, so we could plant in their yards, but they have to be very agreeable to that, So And then if you get on Elmwood, oh yeah, plant trees, yeah, go for it. You know, so it's just almost street by street how the perception of the tree plantings go. Interesting dynamic.
They should have been there at that talk at that Tree City USA that we had before this past one, and the team there that talked about the community where in one area they planted short trees and the other they planted shade trees, and the result 25 years later, lower property values in the streets that had the smaller trees and the higher property value, even though they started off equally.
There's value in trees.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of value.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jennifer, anytime I can get on the agenda, I'd be more than happy to.
Any other things for Ron? Okay, well, I think we covered the maintenance of the tree canopy there quite well. I don't have any other items. Does anybody else have anything they want to raise? If not, we've got the minutes of the last meeting. Again, they're fairly brief. You just look them over. If I could have a proposal to approve them.
I move to approve the minutes as read
Thank you.
from May 14th.
Have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Emily. Assuming there are no objections, we will approve these minutes as the minutes of our last meeting. One comment about forthcoming meetings. I'm wondering whether we're going to have one in August. I'll try and get with John Patsky and find out, but I noticed that the date was going to coincide when I was going to be out of town, and it would be better, I suspect generally that August is a month when a lot of people tend to leave town, and we might delay it a week to get it closer to OU's opening date. But
I probably will not be able to come the second
Okay.
The second,
Thursday.
you mean if they move it to the
Well,
third?
No, normally it's the second.
second, yeah.
And
We might move it to the third one, and that would be, I forget the date now. I did have it. But,
Yeah, I have a conflict with the third Thursday, but
okay. Well, anyway, I just want to raise that. Our next meeting, though, will be on July 9th. I had the wrong date on the original agenda I sent out, but the next meeting will be July 9th, 7 o'clock in the council chamber. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.